The Chinese government has been having issue with cryptocurrency for the past 5 years now, as we all know that mining and trading of cryptocurrency in China is banned. But right now, the government of China are now realizing the importance of cryptocurrency and what value it's going to bring to the good people of China. Well, I'm going to talk about this bit by bit in this video. And as usual, if this is your first time joining us in this channel, kindly like and subscribe to this channel as we always bring out all the important update in the Pi network cryptocurrency. Let's continue. The government of China, as we know that they are also planning to stop the use of United States dollar in the country. Dollar is widely used in the international market, and China has the largest economy. So what's going to happen when China stop using the dollar? Well, that's a very big question. Now talking about cryptocurrency, a lot of Chinese love using crypto for transaction as a result of it fast and secure, but now the Chinese government are trying to divert its economy to cashless, and a lot of people are suggesting the use of crypto. The government even introduced its own cryptocurrency, but it somehow failed. But now, over 70% of people using cryptocurrency in China are Pi network pioneers, meaning that most of them love the Pi network, and even the government are looking into it not only because of the people of China, and also because of the international payment, as the US dollar will no longer be used in the country. What did you think about this? If you think they will endorse the Pi network, please comment Pi to the moon in my comment section, and if you think it will not happen, please also share with us your thought. Also, let's talk about China pumping cryptocurrency. That's right. Over the past year and a half, there has been a narrative about how the Federal Reserve, the ruler of all things financial and wealth across the ever-loving globe that we live on, has just been smothering the markets. They have been smothered so deeply that there isn't a gasp there. But is that really the only thing going on? It turns out that there is a sneaky backdoor stimulus that we haven't talked about much in this global market for cryptocurrencies, and that player is China. The Central Bank of China recorded its single largest this week. There was a cash injection to bolster the economy and lift it out of historically low levels. China has the second largest economy in the world, and it recently grew at an about 2.2% faster rate than the U.S. With $6 trillion in assets, the People's Bank of China is the third largest central bank in the world and is important for maintaining global liquidity. While the majority of experts are concentrating on how the Fed's tightening cycle would affect asset prices this cycle, they are neglecting to take into account the extent of easing at the fourth largest central bank in East Japan. What does it matter if the Fed is suffocating markets, if China is easily outperforming the Fed's efforts to tighten monetary policy? Suffocates you as you move. I like to think of total liquidity like sand in a sandbox, and how eventually when you start adding more, it makes its way everywhere, and what happens if you have a global market like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, where if you take liquidity out of one end, but shove it in mass in the other end, more than what you've removed, well, in the end, you have more money that you've removed well. I like to think of total liquidity like those grandmotherly kisses that get you into her house and leave incredible, according to renowned cryptocurrency trader Andrew King. The China coin narrative has turned the regulatory flood on its head. The more actions the U.S. takes against cryptocurrency, the more the narratives are reinforced and cause more shorts to enter the market that needs to buy back higher bullish funds. What he's saying here is that this regulatory flood is causing all the volatility in the market. Early 2023, Hong Kong will formally make crypto purchases and sell trading fully legal for all of its citizens. Meanwhile, most of them are using the Pi network cryptocurrency. Given that China has numerous capital controls and that crypto has long been seen as a way to get money out of China and a low-fee method of doing so, the United States regulatory flood about cryptocurrency is starting to fall behind China's adoption of the technology. I guess the Chinese government is really just trying to pop you into becoming an excellent cryptocurrency investor. After all, China banned cryptocurrencies at $60K in April and then allowed Hong Kong to buy at $17K in 2023. Perhaps they are aware of something that we are not. The China easing narrative is not some imaginary garbage, as evidenced by the liquidity injections China is ramping up in February, most recently 835 billion CNY via reverse repurchase. As I've been saying, the temporary Goldilocks theme is now receiving some serious firepower, this time from the East, which is probably where you least expected it. Go Burr in the East. Oh, sorry about U.S. inflation, and please excuse China for exporting more goods. Japan and China. No, the U.S. government doesn't control everything, but what does this actually mean? Well, it means that the U.S. government's attempt to curb inflation by stifling assets simply by raising interest rates and ceasing to purchase as many treasuries and securities aren't going to have the desired effect. Instead, here is what I believe will happen. I believe assets will rise in value. According to this narrative, global markets like the Chinese stock market and cryptocurrency are about to soar, or at least they will have a respectable amount of support. However, what will happen if the U.S. government notices that this exported Chinese inflation is beginning to drive up inflation in the West? Yes, this is a global market. Here, and if money printers go out of business in the largest economies outside the United States, it will undoubtedly have some inflationary effects here. What type of consequences could this have for the supply chain and for foreign investment in the U.S. economy? As you can see, there has been some cooling off since we got the regulatory foot here. If you guys remember, I made a video about China looking into Pi Network when it's very easy to see how Chinese and Japanese inflation would start picking up inflation in the West, meaning that we could see a second spike of inflation that is much more severe than this first spike, but not yet. It turned out that it was a massive whale fake out and we've ripped. Remember what I said in that video? I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin rip up to the high 20,000s and then all coins go crazy. And that's where we get the crash, this second half hard landing that everyone has been predicting. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it will happen. I'll describe to you how I've actually been enjoying this rally so much, but I think a lot of people on this channel think I'm hating this rally since I didn't call the bottom, if that was the bottom again. To put it another way, the jury is still out on that. Sticky inflation, if you look at previous decades like the 1970s, was extremely hard to control. There were all kinds of pumps on the stock market, and the government would have to go absolutely pull out all the stops in order to bring it under control. They have said that that's their mission, and they're going to do it no matter what. Almost every investor in the world believes that this is what will happen. I believe that the market is going to go through fits and starts, but in the end, the way to win this game is long-term stable accumulation. Now, I personally am excited for this rally. Like I said, I haven't been risking a tone, though. I have ramped up my exposure a little bit here. Manage your position size. Realize that the only way to truly succeed in the cryptocurrency market is to play the game with a very long time horizon. Invest responsibly based on the amount of capital you have, and so that when things go up, you're excited, and when things go down, you're not so freaked out and you don't paper hand and sell. What are you guys waiting for? Turn on that bell notification and set notifications to all, and I'll see you on the next one.